Hi guys, welcome back. Now it is that time again. Once again, it is mid-October here, 2024, and it is time to bring all of my plants back inside. We're starting to get nights in the low 40s, and actually got down like 36 last night. So it's a good thing I brought all these guys inside. They're very sensitive succulents and tropical. So I just want to kind of give you a quick rundown of what all I have brought inside. This is not going to be too in-depth. If you want to see something up close or more in-depth, maybe a specific video, drop a comment down below. Let's go ahead and get this little indoor houseplant tour 2024 started. Starting off number one right here. This is my aloe. I forget the variety of it, but it is absolutely massive. It is huge. You can tell right here all these little baby pups that are popping out. I actually took this, divided it, and it's already refilled the whole pot again. This thing grows like crazy. My little ponytail palm right here. Now, when all these things are outside, you're on the benches, on the porches, you don't realize just how big things are getting compared to maybe when you set it outside in the spring. Now, I promise you, this little guy here was probably only had leaves about maybe this high. So it's put on quite a bit of nice long growth. The Caudex down here, if that's what you want to call it, is actually probably double the size it was this early spring. So yeah, so when you leave your plants outside all summer, they're happy, they're growing. You don't realize how big they are until you bring them back inside, how much more growth they put on. So these are more just my Sansevierias right here. I've done an entire video of my snake plants. Do check that out. I'll leave a link right there for that. Here's one of my Haworthias. Now this is actually putting on some nice little babies right here, some nice pups. It's very happy. This is the actually, it's Haworthiopsis attenuata. So that's a nice variety to try. A little cotyledon bear paws, some more variegated Haworthia back here. Of course, this is the Pachypodium lindemariae, the Madagascar palm, as it is lovingly called. And a lot of these succulents and euphorbias, guys, are going to be brought inside and pretty much sparingly watered all winter as they go into dormancy. But a lot of people don't realize that your aloes, Haworthias, and several other type of your plants that you bring in, these are actually what are called summer dormant. Okay, so it means they're not going to grow in the summer. They're going to wait until the winter to start growing, just like this little Haworthia right here. Now, I've watered these guys all summer long. They got a little bit of fertilizer. Everything else is growing, and these guys just kind of sat there and didn't move. That's because they were actually dormant in the summer, because in their native South Africa, the summers are brutally hot. They're super dry. So when the winter comes around, that's when the rains come, the cooler temperatures arrive, and that's when they put on their growth, try to get as much growth in, they'll flower, and then they will go dormant for the hot summer. So that's some interesting facts there for you guys. So this is just my climbing aloe. I do like this plant quite a lot. As I cut it back, it's actually putting on more little side shoots like this. It kind of looks a little bush habitat. This is what happens if you don't cut it back. I think I showed you this before. It just makes one long, continuous climbing vine almost, even though it's not a vine, it is truly an aloe. But I'll probably cut that back, actually propagate it, and then hopefully it'll kind of bush out. The Fernwood Mikado, one of my favorite Sansevierias, and I know they've been reclassified as Dracaena, but I'm going with Sansevieria because those are most people know snake plants as. Now this right here is an interesting plant. This is called, I think they call it the pickle plant, but it's yeah, it was only like one or two little sticks when I first got it, and it has absolutely multiplied like crazy. Now, if I did my research correctly, I believe this was supposed to be a summer dormant variety, but it grew all summer and it's supposed to grow in the winter. But it, as you can tell, has put on quite a bit of new shoots. So that will be actually something I need to work on this winter, maybe repotting, I'm not quite sure. Some more interesting little succulent vines here. The name escapes me right off the top of my head right here. Of course, you know what this is right here, and it goes without saying. So let's go ahead and bring you down here on this little run and gun tour. Now this is just an old shelf that I've attached some grow lights to. Get some of the stuff out of the way. But back here you got the squill. Okay, everyone knows that. Little monstrose Peruvian cactus right here. Now interestingly guys here, these are cacti that I've grown from seed. They were started this early spring and they've grown pretty well. So I'm actually happy with this little planting right here I've made of little seedling cacti. If you can see that right there. And they may be divided in the spring, I'm not quite sure yet. Some more succulents here. And again, if you have questions about any particular one, leave a comment down below. Just try to make this video as short as possible. Oh, these are cool. Did you see my video on the baby toes, how they bloomed this past summer? Awesome little plants, similar to lithops, but not really, much easier to take care of, harder to kill. This is a variegated Haworthia, and when I first got it, I didn't realize, believe the pictures when I first got it, but check out just how it's not really coming out very well, but it's almost like a neon color. Then it kind of turns green over time. Here's another aloe here. I like the little spikes on it, and again some more, at least some more aloe plants on the side here. So that's just a quick update of some of my little succulents. Let me take you and show you some other stuff I have in the other window growing on. So before I show you the other succulents, I just had to show you this right here, guys. This is my pitcher plant, or more accurately called Nepenthes. Now look how healthy this plant is, guys. This is massive. This is the same one I showed you how to prune last year. Just put on tons and tons of pitchers, as you can see right here. Putting on more pitchers. This is the Nepenthes alata variety, I believe. But I mean, just look how healthy these leaves are. It is doing fantastic. Yeah, I cannot complain. This was just a little tiny cutter I got like 3 or 4 years ago, and it has turned into an absolute monster. So let's go ahead and look over here to this window. Now, this is more of my tropical area, not like the succulents like I had over there. And just kind of quick, this is some Dracaena or some corn plants. We got the Song of India, I believe. This Dracaena here, pretty cool. Another Dracaena there. Now, this is actually, if you can find it, this is actually a rubber tree, but it's a variegated kind. I like that color a lot. A little, I forget the name of that, but it's a pothos of some kind. Pretty sweet looking. And again, some more peperomia, watermelon peperomias right here. And you can see more being propagated here, little babies. And they actually like a little bit more water than most succulents. So I found that out over the course of time, that this watermelon guy likes a little bit more shade and a little bit more water. So it's not a true succulent, it's not a cactus, you will kill it. Don't ask me how. Yeah, the false rubber tree, this is Astropeperomia. It's getting kind of smothered out by this gigantic fiddle leaf fern I got right here. And also, just look how big my philodendron, I bought it as Bloody Mary, but it's heard it called many different things. The super huge dark purple leaves on it is massive. The orchids in the back, they just kind of chilled all summer, starting to actually put on new growth now as we speak. And again, like I mentioned, the fiddle leaf fern, which is almost touching my ceilings. Yeah. So anyways, let's see right here. We got the Xanthosoma. Now, this was a summer dormant plant because all summer long, it did not do anything, okay? And almost on cue at the fall equinox about a month ago here into September, it just put on tons. And right now it's put on at least 3. This one's 4. So it's put on 4 leaves since within the last month, when it didn't do anything all summer long. I thought I was doing something wrong, but the more I do research on winter versus summer dormancy, some plants are just like that. So this plant will actually not do much at all in the summertime, but fall comes around, it's time to go. My little epiphytic cacti here, I grew this from a cutting. This is all from 2 little cuttings in 1 growing season. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Again, this epiphytic cacti is not a true cacti in the sense that you're not going to water it. It's full of spikes. It's actually from the desert rainforest, if you will. But it does have some little tiny spikes on it that are actually able to kind of prick you a little bit, so you don't want to underestimate it. But let's go ahead and continue over here. So in trying to keep this video as short and concise as possible, I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown. I've showed you these plants before in my older videos, but I just want to show you my Streptocarpella here. It is an absolutely beautiful, it is in full bloom, it is in the sun. A lot of people think these need to be in the shade for some reason. This is actually a south-facing window, a little bit farther back, and it will bloom only on the side facing the sun. See that? This side, I've been rotating this multiple times throughout the season here, but as you can see, it was blooming on this side, then it was rotated over here, now it's blooming over here. Just a little fun fact for you. So this over here is just another pothos right here. This is the Mandula pothos. Now this is also the Streptocarpella, but this is actually a much more rarer, less easy to find. It's almost a white, but it's has a little bit of purple in it just as well. But yeah, so whenever I propagated this, I thought all of the cuttings were of the same kind, but you can tell there are some purple ones in here, which maybe it just reverted back to its normal purple form. The white is actually harder to kind of propagate. Little Monstera here, that is fantastic. It was a little cutting. It's a Thai constellation. It is putting on a massive, massive growth. Now this, if you have never seen a lipstick plant before, it's just an epiphytic vine from Southeast Asia. And while I call it a lipstick plant, see, this is how the flowers kind of start to come out. These little dark little things like this. But as they come into full bloom, they do this. So it looks like, you know, the old school like lipstick where you kind of like take it out of the tube a little bit. There you go. So it's like the lipstick plant. That's where it gets its name. Pretty sweet. One of my new Sansevieria / snake plants I got this year, the Sansevieria Francisii, I believe I call it. But that is amazing. I love this growth habitat on it. Growth habit on it. Look at that. That is pretty sweet. So if you've never seen or grown that, put that on your bucket list. Just some more Kalanchoes over here, a little propagating. And because people keep asking, this is my baobab tree right here. It is now about 2 feet tall. Starting to put on a little bit of thickening of the trunk right there. And I'm not going to water it for several months. The leaves are going to fall off. It's going to go dormant. And yeah, hopefully in the spring it perks back up and we are back to growing a more thicker trunk, more of a succulent type baobab. And the last thing I'll show you here, guys, this is the Dracaena arboreta, which is much more of a thicker trunk, grown to more of a true, basically tree form, as opposed to the Dracaena marginata, which everybody has. You see in offices. It's just a typical house plant that everybody pretty much knows and sees everywhere. And last but not least, just the my traditional rubber tree right here. Now it is kind of looking a little scrawny because I did take a bunch of cuttings. I'm trying to get it more of a bushy shape as it is just running. It was just getting out of control. So that's just a quick little tour, guys, of everything I brought inside. I know it was a lot to take in all at once. So again, like I said, if you want something more in detail or just a specific class of plants, do let me know, and I'd be happy to let you, happy to make a video for you, I'm trying to say, and hope that works. Hope you liked what you saw, guys. If you brought your plants in recently, tell me all about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.